Well, folks, it's been a banner few days for the Biden administration and the bat stew hysteria. About a week ago, we got the stunning declaration from the drooler-in-chief himself that there is no federal solution to the pandemic, something many of us on the right have been saying since the beginning. Gee, I kinda wonder, will Ron DeSantis, who has been repeatedly attacked by the White House as needing to get out of the way of the federal government, get an apology letter from Stumbles a Lot, or the Good Doctor, or maybe even his sidekick Cackles? I wouldn't hold your breath. Then there was this weekend's bombshell admission by CDC Director Walensky that there are actually different death totals for those that died with the bat stew versus those that died because of the bat stew. Which again we all knew damn well, but of course, like with all uncomfortable facts on the left, for nearly 2 years anyone who suggested such was called a conspiracy theorist who wanted to downplay this pandemic. Of course now, because it's politically convenient for the Biden regime, things are suddenly shifting to include more nuance. Now with that in mind, Walensky made yet another major admission, finally citing data, as Dr. Fauci would say, about bat stew and comorbidities leading to far greater risk. Yet all the past urgings from people to focus on personal health earned scathing rebukes from the smart set. We'll watch a clip right after this quick commercial break to pay some bills. It's no secret that liberals are waging a war on the Second Amendment, and Trump supporters, of course. Make no mistake, the Democrats and Joe Biden are on the war path to further erode the Second Amendment and eventually, sooner or later, take your guns. As such, we can no longer stand back and watch the values that founded this great nation be trampled on any further. As a proud American in this God-fearing, gun-toting nation, we must stand up and fight for our rights to bear arms and the Second Amendment in every way. That's why, for a limited time only, Trump-supporting gun lovers will be able to receive a buy one get one free limited edition gold-plated Second Amendment Is My Gun Permit coin. This amazing Second Amendment Is My Gun Permit coin is on track to become the most popular Second Amendment memorabilia out there. And as always, liberals can't stand it, which should be a good enough reason to own a couple anyway. You can pick them up by hitting that link in the description box below. Support the Second Amendment while supporting this channel. Plant that puppy proudly on your mantle or fireplace so there's never a question on where you stand.
If I may just summarize it, a study of 1.2 million people who were vaccinated between December and October and demonstrated that severe disease occurred in about 0.015% of the people who were received their primary series, and death in 0.003% of those people. The overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. So really these are people who were unwell to begin with. Occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. So really these are people who were unwell to begin with.
Okay, so for us normal people, that fact is nothing new at all. We've known for a very, very long time that comorbidities are a key factor in judging someone's risk from bat stew, with a combination of being immunocompromised due to advanced age or obesity being the most common situation. But here's where things get very, very interesting, because at least my opinion is this could have saved tens of thousands of lives over the last couple of years. Walensky isn't just saying that one comorbidity makes the difference. No. She's saying that 75% of deaths occurred in people with at least 4 comorbidities. Now, while some of us have been pointing this crap out since, the spring of 2020, we were maligned as wanting to kill grandma. Yet downplaying the loss of life of the elderly was never the point being made. You see, rather, it was to say that we should manage mitigation based on the inherent risks to certain demographics. It's pretty fundamentally simple. For example, there was never any reason for healthy, non-obese 18 to 50-year-olds to be locked down and put out of work. Well, other than, of course, obvious government power. Further, because of the greatly reduced risk profile of such demographics, there was always never any reason to mandate a jab. Oh, and also, Walensky's admission also put the final nail in the coffin on the idea that children need to be vaccinated, a demographic that faces essentially zero risk whatsoever. In short, as I've been saying to my 90-year-old grandma for the last 2 years, protecting the old and sick with isolation and vaccines while letting everyone else live their lives was always the best strategy after it became clear that we could not control the spread of the virus, a reality that was obvious by at least mid-2020. Now, not only would more nuanced mitigation measures have possibly saved thousands of lives due to increased deaths of despair caused by the lockdowns, but it would have meant many more people gaining natural immunity sooner who were otherwise not at any significant risk. That is happening now with Omicron, whether we like it or not. But had we done what Sweden did, we might have avoided the most recent wave altogether. Here's some more of those facts the left hates so much, provided by Twitter. As the experts move the goalpost to surgical or N95 masks, it's worth remembering that Germany has already required medical-grade masks in N95s with extremely high compliance and reported significantly more deaths than Sweden for all of 2021. They are literally always wrong. And finally, just to put the cherry on top, Walensky also reiterated comments she made some months ago about the vaccines not stopping transmission of the virus. Here's the clip.
They're working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission. So if you're going home to somebody who has not been vaccinated, to somebody who can't get vaccinated, somebody who might be immunosuppressed or a little bit frail, somebody who has comorbidities that put them at high risk, I would suggest you wear a mask in public indoor settings.
So, using just a little bit of common sense, you can come to the conclusion if the vaccines do not stop transmission, then there is zero justification for vaccine passports and mandates. Unfortunately, the Washington politicians and the mainstream media are so invested in causing division that they'll never make that connection. So I guess in the end, you can just chalk all of this up to right-wing news sites being well ahead of the curve on what's true, meaning what's right, what's wrong, what's science, and what's bullshit. I think at this point it's fair to say the list of things now being proven to be correct that were called conspiracy theories just months ago is getting too long to keep track of. Most of this came by way of redstate.com. If you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move! Move! Easy, easy.